If I asked your sponsor what their risk appetite was right now, would they even know? Or better question, would you know? Most project managers don't. And that's the problem. Because if you don't understand your organization's risk appetite, you're making decisions in the dark. So today I'm breaking down risk appetite, risk tolerance, risk thresholds, the three concepts that will transform how you lead your projects. Risk appetite is your organization's willingness to accept uncertainty in pursuit of objectives. Sound pretty simple, right? But here's the problem. Most organizations don't articulate this. They don't write it down. They don't discuss it. They don't align on it. So what happens? Project manager guess. And you end up in one of three scenarios. You become too aggressive. You're taking on risks that your leadership wasn't prepared for. Or you become too conservative. You're slowing down when they wanted to speed up, or you're constantly misaligned with your leadership, frustrated because the goalposts keep moving. Sounds familiar, right? This isn't a you problem. It's a clarity problem. So let me break down the three-part framework you need to understand. Number one, risk appetite. This is how much uncertainty your organization is willing to pursue. Think of this as the strategic stance. Are we playing to win? Or are we playing not to lose? Number two, risk tolerance. This is the acceptable degree of variation around your objectives. It's the boundaries, the guardrails. And for example, we'll accept a plus or minus 10% variance, but not 20. And number three, risk threshold. This is the specific point where a risk becomes unacceptable and must be escalated. It is the tripwire. The moment you say, okay, we need executive involvement. And then here's the relationship overall. Appetite is strategy. Tolerance is range. Threshold is the alarm. It's the ATT framework. And if you don't know all three, you don't know how bold you need to be in your projects. So let me give you a concrete example. Imagine you're launching some new product. You have a high appetite in your organization. They move fast. They accept failure risk. They say, launch it, learn it, iterate. Your job as the PM, enable speed, minimum viable product, get it to market. Scenario two, you have low appetite. Your organization, they overtest, they over-review, they over-document. They say, well, we can't afford to get this wrong. But your job is to build in validation. You do rigorous testing. Get your stakeholder buy-in at every step. Neither approach is wrong, but misalignment, that can be deadly for you and your career. Because if you think you're in a high appetite environment and you're moving too fast, but leadership actually wanted you to be careful, you're seen as reckless. And if you're in a low appetite environment and you're moving too slow, but leadership wanted agility, you're seen as too bureaucratic. Same project manager, different assumptions, total different career outcomes. So here's what you need to recognize as a project manager. Your organization's risk appetite isn't static. It changes based off the market environment, financial performance, recent failures and successes, leadership changes, regulatory pressure. A company that was aggressive last quarter might be conservative this quarter because they missed their earnings. Or a startup that was cautious in the beginning, they might switch the way they're working because now they've actually started getting some income in. Because if you're still operating off last year's assumptions, you're out of sync. So here's the harsh truth. In most organizations, risk appetite lives up in that executive suite. But risk decisions, those are happening at the project level, where we're in charge. And there's usually no bridge between the two elements. So project managers make judgment calls based on what they think leadership wants. They use what worked on the last project, their personal comfort level, and then they're shocked when leadership pushes back. Why didn't you escalate this sooner? Why are we moving so slowly? Why did you make that call without asking? It's not fair, but it is reality. So here's your move. And this is so simple, yet so powerful. In your next steering committee meeting, your next sponsor check-in, your next project kickoff, hopefully that's the best time to do this, ask the question, what level of uncertainty are we comfortable absorbing on this project? Watch what happens. You're going to get one of three responses. Silence, because no one ever thought about it. You're going to get a vague answer, because, well, we want to be innovative but responsible, because they didn't think about it. Or 3, you get a real conversation, one that starts alignment and gets it started up front. One where you could follow up with questions like, what would make us escalate a risk to executive leadership? What's an acceptable range for schedule variance, for budget variance, to where I can make a call or when I have to come talk to you? Are we optimizing for speed, cost, quality? And in what order do you want that? These questions force clarity. And clarity is how you lead your projects with confidence. So for your projects, use this tool right now. Create a risk appetite statement for your project. 3 sentences. First one, what are we willing to risk? Example, we're willing to launch with minimum features to capture market share. 2, what are we not willing to risk? We are not willing to compromise on data security or regulatory compliance. And 3, when do we escalate? Example being any risk that threatens our go live date by more than 2 weeks gets escalated immediately. Put that into your project charter. Get the sponsor to sign off and reference it in every risk review, every status meeting. Now you've got alignment and you've got alignment in writing. So here's your Foundation Friday takeaway. If you don't know your organization's risk appetite, you're leading blind. You're guessing at what leadership wants, and you're second guessing your decisions. You're being reactive instead of proactive. But when you understand appetite, tolerance, and threshold, ATT, you make better decisions. You escalate at the right time, you align with leadership instead of surprising them, and you become the PM who gets it. And if you want to go deeper on this, especially if you're studying for the PMI RMP exam, or if you just want to master risk management at a professional level, I've got a full PMI RMP exam prep course. That's not just for people taking the exam, it's for those who want to improve and understand all these concepts in detail. Link down in the description. And if this helped you out to see risk appetite differently, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment and tell me, does your organization actually have a risk appetite statement, or are you flying blind? All right? I'll see you next week. 44 Risk PM out.